While still explaining data entry for for primary data obtained, say with the use of questionnaire, recall that if you gave or if you distributed, if you administered the questionnaire manually, like face to face, if it was some self administration where you met the respondent and you gave the person the questionnaire copy to fill, then you would have to input the data manually. Here's a simple example. So here is a very short survey, just I think 3 questions. Yeah, just for explanation purposes. So this survey is on motivation and school attendance. So it's a motivation and school attendance survey, MSAS. There is an introduction. Dear students, this survey seeks to find out your motivation to attend school in the aftermath of the COVID-19 break. Your response will be used strictly for the purpose of research only. Thank you. So there is a demographic section that will help us to have a feel or to understand who our respondents were as to where their school is located, or this is school children. So are we working with urban school children or rural school children? How old are the school children? What are their gender like? Yeah. So are we looking at undergrad or postgrad? Great. Okay. So this is the question we decided to ask them just to measure motivation. And we are like, I feel excited. You ask them question like, I feel excited to resume school. They're expected to pick an option like, is this statement completely true in their case, or is it true, or is it not true, or is it completely not true? So you can see this is very positive, and well, this is a big kind of positive. This is negative, but this is absolutely negative. The second question was, I feel comfortable to interact with my peers in school, and they're expected to pick an option here. Which of these options truly represent their view about interacting with peers once they resume after the COVID-19 break? And then the third one, I am comfortable with the safety measures on campus. There are also options they're supposed to pick from. So this is just a 3-item 4-point Likert scale questionnaire. 3-item means 1, 2, 3. Likert scale means the different options in which they'll be rating their views, or they'll be giving their ratings. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 options. So that makes it 4-point Likert scale. If there's a last option, let's say undecided or somehow true and not true, then that'll make it 5. For now, this is a 4-point Likert scale. So let's say we gave this to someone. Okay, we have some responses already, but let's say let's see how these responses were obtained. I'm gonna share this side by side with the Excel sheet. So first thing you do is to create an Excel sheet. That's the first thing you do. You create an Excel sheet. Yeah, we create an Excel sheet like we said. We create an Excel sheet. So this is the Excel sheet. Okay, already we have some imputed data. So let's say this was empty. I'll just delete this right now. Let's do this afresh. So I just take this off. And then this is a blank Excel sheet. And we want to impute this data. So I'll place this side by side so we can see the questions, and we can see the question and the Excel sheet at the same time. So this is data entry. We are trying to enter the data into Excel. We want to enter it into a spreadsheet, okay? So this is the data entry process on Excel. This can be done directly on SPSS. This can be done directly on SPSS, but it's good to start out with Excel if you're really new to SPSS. And so what's the first um option here? What's the first question here? Sex, right? And then we say sex. We say location. Then we say what's the next thing? Age. What's the next thing? Program. The next variable. So these are variables: sex, location, age, program. These are variables. Program. And then we have the question itself. So this is question, we can call this question 1, 2, and 3. So you can choose to call that question 1, or question 2, or question 3. You can choose to do that, or you can just type it all out. If you have the time, you can still do this. Question 1 is what? This, right? Great. Question 2, you can still do this. There's no crime about it. And question 3, okay, there's an I here. Okay, and question 3. Okay, great. So we have sex, location, age, program, and then question 1, 2, 3. We have it there. 1, 2, 3. That's E, F, and G. All right, great. So let's take the responses. Let's assume that the first person that filled this questionnaire gave it this or took this. So let's say this. Okay. Let's say the person was male and the person was in the rural area, and then the person was less than 18 years and was an undergrad. I mean, postgraduate, 18 years? No, so it's undergrad, right? Okay. And then the person said, I feel excited to resume school. So maybe, yeah, home was boring. I mean, I want to resume school, right? And then the person decides to pick this option. And then I am comfortable. So I think there's some error. I'm comfortable, or I feel, okay, let's correct this English. I comfortably interact with my peers in school. Let's say maybe, okay, let's say true. And then I feel comfortable with the safety measures on campus. So let's say the person is also very scared of COVID and it's like, nah, I don't feel comfortable with that. And the person says, not true. So these are the responses. This person is male, the person is in the rural area, the person is less than 18 years, is an undergrad, and then he feels completely true about this question and true about the second and completely not true about the third. How do we get this to SPSS? I mean to Excel. So it could have been easy to just say male. That's for the, so we're going to take this row as observation 1. So this is our first observation. That's the first response. So the person is male and the person is where? Of what? A rural location. So location, we have rural, and this person is less than 18 and is an undergrad, feels excited, and then says completely not true. So we could go on to do this, and then the second is what? True. The second option is true, right? For G, person feels true about that. And then the last one says the first is completely true. The first option is completely true, and the last option is completely not true. So if I want to go on and on to do this for every response, can you see it's going to take me a longer time? So instead, I can give these codes. In entering data, I can give these responses codes. I can code them numerically. Remember that quantitative data analysis is a numeric, it's a quantitative analysis, a numeric form of data analysis. That is, the data that are obtained are numeric in nature. So it's okay to do this, but imagine if you had 200 responses and you need to type all of this way. It's going to take a long time and you can make mistakes, typing, maybe words won't be, you may not spell some things correctly, and that's going to be a problem. So it's easier to do this by just coding, Okay, so how do we code then? So I'm supposed to assign, remember that coding is a process of assigning numbers to text or assigning numbers to scale. Coding is a process of assigning numbers to scale. So for here, sex is a variable, and then male and female are the scales. That is measures of sex or gender. All right. So let's say anyone who picks male, we assign it as number 1. And anyone who picks female is assigned as number 2. So let's say we have a coding system like this. I'm just saying coding system code. So we can say male is 1, female 2. And then we have the same coding system for location, and then we say urban is assigned as 1 and rural as 2. And then we have for age, and we say age less than 18 is assigned as 1. 18 to 25 is assigned as 2, and greater than 25 is assigned as 3. And then programs, so the code for programs says undergrad is 1, postgrad is 2. And then we come here, we say anyone who picks, since this is a 4-point Likert scale, we say 4 is for anyone who picks completely true. 3 is for anyone who says it's true. And then 2 is for not true. And then 1 is for completely not true. So look at this. Let me just highlight this code so that we don't get confused. I'll just highlight this. So on your paper questionnaire, you can just have it written out on them. You don't write the code on them, okay? In your paper questionnaire. I just want to highlight this so we don't get confused. Recall that this is a hands-on training, so you are expected to learn the nitty-gritty of this software. Okay, great. So let's code this again. Let's come back to Excel and code these responses again. Our respondent was male. What's the number for male? 1, right? So we just say 1. His location is what? Rural. What's the number for rural? The code for rural? 2. He's aged less than 18. What's the code for less than 18? 1. And he's an undergrad. What's the code for undergrad? 1. And then for the first question, so I think I'll just name this Q1. So let's say Q1. Let's call this Q1, Q2, Q3, okay, just for us to be sure what we're doing. So for this first question, the person picked completely not true. That is rated 4. So we change this to 4. The second question was true. We change it to what? 3. And the third question was completely not true. We change that to what? 1. Because that's the answer for 1. Okay. All right. So here you go. So here you go. This tells me that for this observation, the first person is male because it's 1, and I can see that male is coded 1. This person location is 2, and 2 is rural. So this person lives in the rural environment, um, age 1, and then I see 1 is coded for less than 18. So this tells me that when I see 1, I know that the person is less than 18. Program 1, and program for 1 is undergrad. So this person is an undergrad. And for this first question that says, I feel excited to resume school, the person rates 4. Oh, the person feels completely true about this statement. The second question, which is, I comfortably interact with my peers in school, is rated 3, and 3 means true. Oh, great. And then the third question, I'm comfortable with the safety measures on campus. And the person says, no, completely not true. And that's 1. So that's 1. So if you gave this to 100 people, you just need to know what their options are and then what the code that has been assigned to that response is. And then you put in all the responses here. So let's return it to what we already had. Let's say we already had something like this already. Great. So can you see that? So let's say we already had this. So what does this tell us? What does this tell us? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. So this tells us that we have 30 people who fill this questionnaire. So you can see, yeah, so this shows 31, right? But remember that the first row here is the variables. So we don't want to count these as observations. These are the variables. So which means that we have 30 responses here. 30 responses. So if we even right click this, is 30 row. Yeah. So we have 30 responses. So what does this tell us? This tells us that the first person here, age, location, gender, okay. So for age 1, what is age? Age less than 18. Location 1, rural. So we've taken all of this already. We understand all this. So let's use a random option. So let's say this 15, we're interested in the 15th observation. What does this tell us? So age here, I think there was a mix-up in there's some mix-up here. So yeah, let's say age here 2. So if we come here, what is age 2? So this means this person is between 18 to 25 because 18 to 25 years is coded as 2. And then 1 here, location 1. So the person lives in the urban area, gender 1. The person is male as well. So that's what this tells us. So you may just see numbers, but these numbers mean something so long as codes has been assigned to them. How about the concept of data cleaning?